welcome to another episode of Life Lessons in Bon Jovi songs. And today we're at the song Blood on Blood, and it's a bit of an easy one for me because this series is called Life Lessons in Bon Jovi songs, so I have to dive into the song to see the life lesson, but in this case, the whole song is a life lesson. Everybody knows what the life lesson is in the song, so I didn't have to really dig. I didn't have to use my imagination. It's all right there, and it has always been right there. So, Blood on Blood is the fifth song of the album New Jersey. If you have it on vinyl, like I have here, then it's the final song from side A. So it's a bit of a closer, and and it has been played at concerts in the New Jersey Syndicate tour, so in the tour that was that followed the album, but it has really been played ever since. So it is, well, not ever since. It's not like a staple song the way I don't know, Bad Medicine or other hits are. But it has been a regular. So Blood on Blood went on to the album being a song about youth friendships, youth in general, and about really cherishing that, and about the fact that when you go through it, you don't really understand how special the time is, how you will treasure that time and look back on it. This can be, different for everybody. Not all of us had a great, teenage years that we look back on fondly. But for those who do, when they go through it, it's not something that they realize that it's so special when they go through it. So that's really what Blood on Blood is about, and it has names from the friends that John had when he grew up, and the professions that they had, that they would have later on, and that he was the rock star. So that kind of like, after the teenage years, we all went our separate ways. But if you call me in the middle of the night, then we'll still be there for each other. So that's really the lesson of Blood on Blood. Now you have to understand that John Bon Jovi came into fame very, very early. I mean, we all know that when that most artists have start looking back on their youth and kind of romanticizes teenage years, and not all artists, but many. And but for him, it was still pretty recent. So you have to understand that we're talking about 1988. That was the year when he turned 26. So that is still pretty young. You still have a lot of friends from, your high school around, and so you really have to take that into account. That because he was the youngest member of the band Bon Jovi, that for him it was really also the final years when things still had been normal. He had not just grown up, he had grown into being the biggest rock star that was around at the time. So for him, there was even more. It really was a very sweet memory because it was the last time that everybody just saw him as, I imagine, as Johnny, so for him, there was really, he was very young, and so he was pretty close in number of years to those teenage years, but also for him the journey had been a very, very long one. He had been more on the road and abroad than he had been at home. So he was really living such a different lifestyle that I can really imagine that although it is a universal theme, and although we will all feel something when we hear that song, and we can all enjoy it, that for him it had more weight to it because he had taken such an unconventional path and succeeded at it. So yeah, Blood on Blood became one of those songs that had an extended runtime when performed live. So it was like on the album, it's like 4 minutes, and it could go up to. I will see how. Oh, it doesn't say. It doesn't say how long it is here, but it's like even if it's 6 minutes, it could go up to 12 minutes when it was live. So yeah, it was really one of those songs that had an artistic arc to it that really grew into something else, and it was kind of like it creatively expanded on itself when it was performed. There is a recording from the 1989 Rotterdam concert that was uploaded a couple of years ago with the label From Hand 90, which is a YouTube channel and an art, I would say, an artist, audio engineer, um, who really picks up those old recordings and polishes them up and puts them on his YouTube channel. And there's one from a couple of years back that says, okay, I really think that this is the best performance of Blood on Blood. And that's Rotterdam 1989, and you can find the link below. There's also a video with it. I mean, there's two videos, but Rotterdam 1989 has video material, which is rare for bootlegs. But the video was not complete, so the filmer had to hide his camera at the beginning of the video, and Hand 90 really used other material from Bon Jovi to yeah, and but that actually really worked out because now it's like this beautiful video clip. But you can yeah, you can check it out. So Rotterdam 1989 is below in the description box, labeled as the best performance of of Blood on Blood. The names that are in the in Blood on Blood as being the friend group are Bobby. He's referred to as a medicine man, meaning a doctor, someone who has studied medicine. And in later, like in the 21st century, it became he's doing the best that he can instead of he's medicine man. Bobby's a real person, as opposed to Tommy and Gina from Living on a Prayer, who were inspired on real life people, but they were not the correct names, and it was not like it was kind of like a fabricated story from different elements, different things that had happened. But these are actual friends, these are actual names, so that is really, really cool. And the other is Danny. Oh, I have mixed it up. It was Danny is a medicine man. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so it was Danny was a medicine man and Bobby, but that is not in the video, or I mean in the song, but I have it here. Bobby was actually the boyfriend from the future wife of John Bon Jovi. So before she started dating John Bon Jovi, she was with Bobby. So that's very he kind of like lives on forever here in this song. So I do think that is really nice. So and then there was a third character, and his name was Steve, but he didn't, according to John, he didn't quite make it to the story. So yeah, there were a lot of friends, real life stories, and they all ended up in Blood on Blood. Then there is one final dimension, and that is that it is really also a song that symbolizes the friendship between Richie Sambora, the guitarist, and Bon Jovi, the um, lead singer. And they really kind of like pushed that meaning or pushed that arc when they performed it. So there's a lot of moments where they are on the mic together, even also with the bass player Alec John Such, the three of them. But yeah, so there's this element of friendship within the band, and even the really deep bond between John Bon Jovi and Richie Sambora. But Richie Sambora left the band, so that really makes this song also have a um, uh, like a bit of an edge to it, like almost like it didn't really get a happy ending. And maybe then there is, a life lesson in it if we look at how our feelings about our youth and about our friends change over time. It's probably a bit of a controversial topic, but as much as I regret that Richie Sambora left Bon Jovi, or maybe it's a better way to say, as much as I regret that there was such big tensions that ultimately led to this, it is really, I think, what most of us experience during life. Like, we all develop ourselves and we all grow, and um, the chances that you grow exactly in the same direction are really not that high. So in that way, it is kind of like, yeah, when you're 26, when you're 27, maybe you look back and you still think like, oh, that's gonna be forever. But I would say that, you know, if you're 47, if you're 20 years down the road, that becomes a whole different story. So maybe being 27 and still having that like open heart, full of meaning, and full of fond youth memories, maybe that too is, a period where you can really look back to, and maybe it's a period that you should cherish. Like, oh, that was so cute. I was just 27. Oh, that was so cute. So, John was 26. Oh, I was just 26. So, yeah, maybe that is kind of like an extra life lesson. Like, yes, you can look back when you're in your late 20s, and you can look back at your teens and you were like, oh wow, that was really special friendships, and I would still be there for you. But you can also be 47 or 46 and look back and think, oh, I was pretty cute. I still had that open heart when I was in my 20s. Yeah, so, and maybe some of you have stayed that way. Maybe you have found a way to nourish your inner teen and to nourish your friendships from that time, or you're still young and positive adult. It's usually the difference between it has a song being a single or not. In this case, Blood on Blood was scheduled to become a single. There even is a video. It's in the description box. I'll put it in below. But plans changed, and ultimately, it was never released as a single. So yeah, that was it for today, and I'll see you in 2 weeks. See you there. Bye.